Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Two in Love, here with something I haven't done in a while. At least in this format. So, AEW Rampage was Friday night, and Battle of the Belts 3 for AEW was Saturday night. Now, usually on the podcast, I mention it after at the end of my Dynamite review on Thursday that, well, yes, I usually do Rampage reviews on Saturday, but I figured since I'd be out on all Saturday that I'd have a dual review for you guys today. So I'll be going over, probably not in depth as much, but going over both Rampage from Friday night and Battle of the Belts from last night. But you'll get your coverage of both AEW shows. So clear that out of the way. But so Madison Rayne. She I went over a little bit on Dynamite, but she's a big focal point already her first couple days with AEW. So it was announced last week that she would be joining AEW as a coach for the women's division in AEW. And, among Tony Schiavone, um, many people would be taking some leverage or some responsibility off the plate for Tony Khan when it comes to talent relations, which is a good thing because, the whole Jonathan Gresham thing at Death Before Dishonor for Ring of Honor was not pleasant. And, Tony Khan has a whole bunch of different things. A whole bunch. So, I mean, he was even at the Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremonies on yesterday for the NFL because the first Jacksonville Jaguar, Tony Baselli, made the Hall of Fame, which, of course, Tony Khan is a part owner of the Jaguars for the NFL. So, another thing he's got on his plate, but good thing. And yeah, Madison Rayne, she's already done a bunch with, so far, as far as the women's division goes. I mean, she's playing a factor, definitely. Because, so on Elevation, AW Dark Elevation, she had a back and forth with Jade Cargill, which was on Thursday. Friday, she actually wrestled Leila Gray, and Jade Cargill challenged her to a match on Dynamite on Wednesday. So talk about a jumping into the ship for Madison Rayne. You know, it's a little strange for me because now Madison Rayne, for those who watch Impact and TNA rather, you know, when TNA Impact was at its peak was the late 2000s, and that's when Madison Rayne really picked up on the scene for TNA with the beautiful people, Velvet Sky, Lacey Von Erich, and Angelina Love. So, but she since then has been a large piece for Impact, but now she's signed with AEW. And already she's making a quote unquote impact in a way with AEW. And it's interesting because for the last few weeks, Jade Cargill and the baddies have been feuding with Chris Statlander and Athena. And I didn't see either of them Dynamite, Rampage, or Battle of the Belts. So I'm curious with AEW All Out being a month away or less than a month away. Maybe this is just a way as a placeholder to buy Jade some time until we get a foreseeable triple threat between the three women at All Out. Because I don't see Jade losing her title on an episode of Dynamite with how much they've paid attention to her streak, undefeated streak, and so on. So, but at the same time, Madison Rayne coming in, it's both good and bad because, Madison Rayne, obviously a coach, coming in, getting a title shot, but putting over Jade Cargill, I mean, kudos to her, I guess. But yeah, she's definitely been a vocal point the last few days for AEW. But anyways, with that out of the way, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the podcast and you want to see more videos, click the description down in the corner. Find more videos on the channel, both Dynamite, Rampage, Battle of the Belts, pay-per-views, etc. Find those on the channel. Thank you, and let's get started. So, first starting off with Rampage from Friday night. So, we had an AEW World Title Eliminator match between Jon Moxley and Mance Warner. Mance Warner, I don't like Eliminator matches. I mean, Mance Warner, I have not followed him on the Indies. He won a Battle Royal at Ric Flair's last match. Last eliminating Bully Ray to win this, or to get this match, I should say, versus Jon Moxley. This was a good fight, I would say, between Warner and Mox. Warner, wasn't anything special, but I guess it was good for what it was. So, Warner invited Moxley to the outside. They fought before the bell. Moxley was targeting the leg of Warner, um, wedging in between the ropes, hitting a basement drop kick, dragon screw. All of a sudden, I don't know how. Again, Moxley got a little cut on his forehead, but nothing really huge as far as Moxley is concerned. So Warner landed on the steps. I didn't see how, but so Warner kind of turnabout fair play, working on the knee of Moxley. Went for a figure four. I assume he went reckless, abandoned, pulled out some chairs from underneath the ring. Moxley, so Warner was about to hit him with a chair. Moxley fired back, hit a forearm, knocking the chair into Warner's face, gashed him wide open. Yeah, big cut. Finish match came where Moxley hit a pile driver, landed some stumps, and then a bulldog choke. Ascending bulldog choke to Warner. Warner passed out. Moxley wins it. And Moxley's got momentum for Quake by the Lake in Minnesota on Wednesday versus Chris Jericho. I wonder if it'll be a better match than it was at Revolution 2020, but considering the level both have been operating since, I would think it's likely. Konosuke Takeshita, a guy who's always impresses, So, sorry, I hit my microphone for a sec. So, Takeshita, I won't say before the match, was slated to face Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World title at Battle of the Belts. But Takeshita, you know, you love to see very good international talent, come to AEW and really show what they're made of. I mean, we know how good Ospreay is at his level in New Japan. We know how good, for example, Jay White, the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, is in New Japan as well. Konosuke Takeshita, not a household name like in Japan as some of these others, but he's young, and every time we've seen him, he's impressed. He doesn't get a lot of wins, but he has definitely showcased himself in front of the American audience, and you know he went 1-on-1 on Rampage with Ryan Nemeth, who, of course, the younger brother of Dolph Ziggler. This was short but sweet. Excuse me. Takeshita may have the best Blue Thunder Bomb in the business. He had a big rise in the knee, which is finish for the win. and Takeshita got his first televised victory in AEW. His first one-on-one. Definitely. The best friends in Orange Cassidy. They were back in the trainer's room. They were interviewed by Lexi there. They talked about how, well, Orange Cassidy's not in the top 5 singles. Best friends are not in the top 5 tag team rankings. So they said, well, their best work is probably as a trio. So, I mean, hinting that, or pretty much telling you, they will be in the trios tournament. I think we can kind of figure, but them in the trios tournament for the trios titles, I mean, again, I don't expect them to win it, but I expect them to have a good showcase in the tournament, and we'll see. Madison Rayne, who I mentioned earlier, she went one-on-one Leila Gray here. You know, this match wasn't much, but, you know, pretty much just a simple match for Rayne to get her feet wet in AEW. So there were some antics by Stokely Hathaway to get the advantage for Gray, but Rayne fired back, hit across Reigns, which is pretty much a crossroads, but call it a cross Reigns for Madison Rayne. So there's that. Afterwards, Jade Cargill came out with an invitation for a match on Wednesday's Dynamite. But she said that Rayne would need to take a few days off. So off from behind came Kiera Hogan, but to no avail. She ate a cross Reigns as well, and Cargill looked a little timid, so got that match to look forward to on Dynamite. So pretty straightforward. Main event: Tony Nese and Josh Woods for Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. This was a street fight for the AEW Tag Team titles. This had some good, had some mid stuff, but Woods, he has a good look. I will say that. He has a good look. You know, this, he laid out Keith Lee last week since the pairing with Tony Nese. And they went here for tag team titles. He definitely has strength, I will say that. You know, the one spot in this match, which was crazy. So, I'll get to it a bit. So, Nese early in the match blinded Keith Lee with a jar of protein powder, but Swerve fired back, leveled Nese against the steps, took out a toolbox, and threw it at Nese's head, but missed. So Woods fired back. He drove Swerve into the steps. Back from break. All the guys were just in a big pile in the middle of the ring. Swerve, he had a big 450 onto all the guys in the middle of the ring, including his tag team partner. There was a table set up in the corner of the ring. Sterling tried to dive on Swerve to no avail. Keith Lee stopped him, threw Mark Sterling through this table. And then this spot, usually we see competitors go for a German suplex off the apron, but it usually gets stopped and, derailed. So there were two tables set up on the outside. Josh Woods, obviously the bigger of his team, went for a German suplex to Keith Lee through these tables off the apron. And Keith Lee, he's like a good 350. So Keith Lee tried to fight off. Nese hit a super kick. Lee lost his grip. And then Josh Woods, crazy. I thought Lee was just going to land squarely on top of Woods through this table. But did not go that way. So they both sent crashing through these two tables, and holy cow, both were taken out for the rest of the match. Jeez. So then, back in the ring, Nese and Swerve, there was a pile of chairs set up. Nese was dumped onto this pile of chairs by Swerve. Swerve then hit the Swerve Stomp off the top rope. Swerve and Keith Lee retained the tag team titles and a subpar but still good street fight between all four combatants. Woods showed some good. He showed some good in this match, and wouldn't mind if we saw more of him. Alright, be right back. Take a little break before Battle of the Belts portion. So, yeah. Alright. Now, after stepping away for a bit, just for a few seconds, now Battle of the Belts with Rampage away, Battle of the Belts. Now, the first two Battle of the Belts, and I think, with having Battle of the Belts and Ring of Honor, it certainly helped. Because when Battle of the Belts was first introduced, I'm sure many got to the idea that all the titles of AEW would be defended clear as day. I mean, we would see some stuff, the women's title would be defended, the FTW title would be defended, etc. I mean, First two were pretty much underwhelming. Yes, we got a decent Ring of Honor World Title match between Dalton Castle and Jonathan Gresham last time, but first two out of the belts, pretty underwhelming. This one, by far, the best lineup for Battle of the Belts in their first three events. So that was good with the TNT title, women's title, and the Ring of Honor World title. Much better lineup and much better names. Wardlow for Jay Lethal, Jamie Hayter for Thunder Rosa, Takeshita versus Claudio Castagnoli. Much better lineup. And the matches were all pretty good. I would say maybe the Lethal Wardlow match could have had a little more time. I mean, I think that's kind of the danger with only being 1 hour. Maybe another 10, 15 minutes, a half hour show will probably be more suitable. But nonetheless, it was the best Battle of the Belts show to date and good stuff. Some good matches lined up and something key to think about as we gear towards All Out next month. So, Battle of the Belts. So, first we started with the TNT title match. Jay Lethal versus Wardlow. This was not a very, kind of a short match, but still decently good. So, Lethal, obviously the smaller guy of the two, went with quick strikes, trying to take the big guy off his seat. Went for stereo drop kicks, but feigning a knee injury. I was worried he was still seriously hurt. But then the veteran Jay Lethal, when Wardlow was distracted, tried to come out from behind for a quick steal of a victory. No avail. Not only made Wardlow more upset, Lethal hit a suicide on the outside. Wardlow fired back. Lethal tried to go for a lethal combination or lethal injection, but Wardlow thwarted it a couple times. Then Wardlow hit one singular powerbomb on Lethal for the win, and Wardlow retains it, his second title defense for the TNT title. Afterwards, the celebration was very short as Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt went for the attack. Wardlow tried to fire back, and Singh hit a big choke slam on Wardlow through a table. Lethal had the TNT title on his shoulder as if he just won it, and that was how that went off. So, look, Jay Lethal, you know, he just lost that big match to Samoa Joe at Death Before Dishonor for the TV title. It was a great match, but he lost. You know, then he beats Orange Cassidy, sets his sights on the team title, loses here. Now, my guess is that hopefully it's this and not Satnam Singh, but judging from what I saw after the match, I'm assuming that we get more build because, look, Lethal just says sights on the team title after a long multi-month feud with Samoa Joe. But yeah, pretty sure we're getting a more build to it between Jay Lethal and Wardlow. Jay Lethal's going to win a couple more matches. And we may get a Jay Lethal for Samoa or Wardlow rematch at All Out. Maybe a stipulation is there regarding Satnam Singh. I'm not sure, but I would be fine with the rematch here as long as it's not Satnam Singh. I'll take a rematch between Wardlow and Jay Lethal any day. Because we don't usually see rematches on AEW TV. We see them every so often. So, yeah, I could definitely see this being expanded for another few weeks. Jamie Hayter for Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Title. Solid match, as I mentioned the other day. This was another match I felt that could have been more built to, because the story with the women right now in AEW is a bit mysterious because you have Thunder Rosa, you have Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, and Britt Baker in this whole intertwining feud. And it's a curious direction as to where they go, but especially because, possible dissension between Rosa and Storm as opposed to Hayter and Britt Baker. It's definitely a strange solution. Nonetheless, this match is good. They were fighting on the outside. Rosa hit DT on Hayter, knocking her for a loop, and Hayter was filming the effects for out the majority of the match. I mean, Jamie Hayter probably has the best backbreaker. They even said probably the best backbreaker right now in the business. She hit her Uranagi backbreaker for a near fall. Toni Storm and Britt Baker were both at ringside. And both were going at it. They pretty much took each other out. Britt hit super kick on Tony. Tony fired back with a twisting DT on Britt on the floor. So that was here or there. So Hayter went for a wheelbarrow-like maneuver press, but Rosa countered. Roll up Jamie Hayter, 1, 2, 3, and Thunder Rosa retains her AEW Women's title. And like I mentioned, so this feud has a couple directions. Yeah, it could go. After that great tag team match on Dynamite between the four ladies, Rosa could absolutely turn heel. She could absolutely. And we'll see. She has not been given the proper respect as the Women's World Champion should. She has been passed by for such as Britt Baker, Jade Cargill, etc. Um, you know, Tony Storm, there's stuff with her, but Britt Baker is so loved, she's so over, you know, and the women's division that she could absolutely go back to being a babyface when Thunder Rosa turns heel, or if she does, and then we could get some new essence of a feud between them two compared to their other great matches. So there's a couple different paths. Where does it lead? We'll have to see. So, Quake by the Lake, Wednesday, AEW Dynamite in Minnesota. We got the coffin match. Brody King, Darby Allin. We got Tornado Tag, Lucha Brothers versus Roosh and Andrade El Idolo. That's going to be great. We got Jade Cargill versus Madison Rayne. We got John Moxley versus Chris Jericho. I mean, we got some good stuff lined up for Quake by the Lake. Main event for Battle of the Belts. This was very good. Very good. Konosuke Takeshita versus Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World title. This was, as you expect, a banger of a match. So, after chain wrestling, and both are very tough, very strong. So, it was pretty much the stalemate start. So, Takeshita fired out of the gates, hit Tope con Hero on the outside. Claudio hit a big gun wrench suplex off the top rope for a near fall. He went for the big swing on Konosuke. Konosuke also not a small guy, but Claudio got some of it for a 2. So, excuse me. They were exchanging on the top rope. Claudio was dropped on the top rope turnbuckle by Konosuke, and Claudio was dazed. Konosuke then went for a frog splash. Looked like Claudio was a bit too far away, but nonetheless he hit it for a near fall. So Takeshita, one of his big moves is his diving forearm, but Claudio caught him perfectly out of midair and hit a European uppercut on Konosuke for a near fall. Konosuke fired back a big German suplex and a big lariat for 2. He went for his big knee, followed with a brainbuster for another close near fall. Konosuke had, even at William Regal, a bit questioning himself, like, the title may change hands. Claudio went for the Ricola bomb. Takeshi countered into a raw for another 2. Finally, Claudio hit a big uppercut and then followed with a big clothesline. Ricola bomb finally. 1, 2, 3. Claudio Castagnoli wins in this hell of a match to end a very good edition of Battle of the Belts. So, good stuff there. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me. Yeah, that was the end of Battle of the Belts and was pretty darn good. Definitely the best they've done so far. But yeah, thank you for joining me all. That's the episode for today. The dual review for Rampage and Battle of the Belts. Good stuff. Good stuff from this weekend. Um, hopefully, the schedule. Well, because there'll be no Battle of the Belts this weekend, so won't be another dual review. But hopefully, I can get a Rampage review up its regular time on Saturday. We'll see. But nonetheless, I'll be back for Dynamite on Thursday, and we'll see. But if you like this video, click the like button in the corner, leave a thumbs up. Thank you all. Be safe. See you guys on Thursday. Enjoy yourselves. I'm Angel to a love. Out. Peace.